If at first you don't succeed, try again. It's a stanza from a poem by William Edward Hickson, but most people know it as the anthem to early childhood. A staple in motivational speech, we recite it time and time again, yet the message seems to have been lost in today's society. It reminds us to persevere, a form of encouragement when met with failure. But more often than not, we as a society are driven by the instant gratification provided with success that when met with failure, we lose our way. Failure is scary. It has become such a focus for us to follow the pathway to success that doing anything less is almost unacceptable. For a period of my life, I was met with no opposition. I did what I was told, in return, I was met with success. Today, there's one thing I am sure of. The framework of success I was working under was fraud, and my believing it wasn't was a failure in itself. In high school, my name was never missing from the honor roll. I got straight A's, I was a member of the National Honor Society, and a three-letter varsity athlete, the stereotypical but idolized well-rounded student. I committed to a college my sophomore year. I knew where I was going. I was going to be playing Division I lacrosse, and I was already a candidate of the Honors College. My teachers praised this kind of student, and ultimately throughout school, I put all my effort into becoming this student rather than working to make the most of my education. While I had accomplished all these things, it wasn't success. It wasn't failure either, but I hadn't overcome anything to make it worthwhile. I was simply accomplished. At the end of my senior year, my athletic trainer told me I was going to fail. She wasn't talking about that instant, a class, or my next game, but further down the road, and I didn't believe her. Was I wrong? When I graduated high school, I was met with adversity, and lots of it. I struggled, and it was clear. Was I not prepared? Did my teachers fail me? All I knew was that in order to succeed at this level, I would have to work, and even so, I welcomed the challenge. What I didn't know was that that challenge would include two major surgeries, the most recent being my biggest test yet. I was lucky to have never seriously injured myself prior to my first day of college lacrosse practice, but my body was tired, and I didn't know it. Getting injured was failing. I wasn't able to do my job, what I was good at, playing lacrosse. And instead, I had to work to meet what had seemed like impossible benchmarks on rehab protocols and fight through pain. I had a labral repair in my hip my sophomore season and just underwent a tibial tubercle osteotomy in December. They basically broke my leg and screwed it back together. My current rehab protocol is up to 1 year long. That's 1 month on bed rest, 3 walking on crutches, 3 more walking with a straight leg brace, but the most difficult, 12 months without sports. I'm not saying this to deserve pity, because I don't. I say this because the obstacles I was faced with forced me to change my way of thinking, to reevaluate my definition of success. Success is no longer being accomplished, because, well, if you ask me, all those things I did in high school aren't helping me now. Success is overcoming. Every benchmark I hit, as little as getting my brace unlocked to 15 degrees, to making it a full rotation around the bike, every step means something because I could be back where I started. I've had to work to get where I am, and it hasn't been easy. There have been scares. I've developed a clot after this surgery and had to make drastic lifestyle changes to accommodate it. But what's a setback? Just something else to overcome. I've learned to celebrate the little victories because the determination that comes along with them is what actually leads you to success. Then your courage should appear, for if you will persevere, you will conquer, never fear. Try again. An injury is a setback, as is missing a deadline, losing a job, failing a test, and many other circumstances. While I wouldn't wish them upon anyone, a setback is something that can be overcome. What leads to those setbacks, however, isn't as straightforward. In my experience, while my diagnosis may have been final or unchanging, it was a result of my own decisions to play sports. But what about the obstacles we meet as a result of circumstance that is not as easily controlled, such as race, class, ethnicity, gender? Discrimination within these realms happens every single day, creating more and more obstacles on the pathway to success. And every day, amazing humans surpass the inherent boundaries surrounding them because of their circumstance. People like Martin Luther King Jr., the participants of the Me Too movement, the advocates for people with disabilities, the high school activists from Parkland, Florida. The list goes on. These victors define success, persevering through the odds against them and never giving up, all the while demonstrating immense courage, Their being is not only successful, but all the more meaningful. These successes don't take away from the others, rather reinforce the importance of perseverance. Setbacks or obstacles aren't failures, rather make success all the greater. Once or twice, though you should fail, try again. If you find your task is hard, try again. I believe that setbacks are not failures, rather catalysts for growth. Life doesn't always go our way. That's a given. However, when faced with adversity, we don't often acknowledge the effect it has. I believe the setbacks I have encountered in life have not only pushed me to better myself and in turn grow as a human being. Whether faced with prejudice, opposition, defeat, or struggle, I, along with many others I've witnessed firsthand, have made it to the other side, and in my opinion, for the better, as have many other members of society as well. There is a hidden value in failure. It's the path to success. But without acknowledging this idea, failure seems meaningless and ever so discouraging. My journey is not defined by setbacks, and my success is not defined by my failures. However, my growth is defined by all of my being, setbacks and failures included. If at first you don't succeed, try again. This, I believe.